have versatile guys on court. They basketball game, no matter what. Bounding is a print. Have these guys that can from the front court make the game even more.
So here, first court pay. Paul out there with Anthony Adams, and at the foaming the paint was George. Robert in the corner. Now shot clock. Oklahoma South time. And it's on defense, Oakley coming in against the Knicks in the game.
And for the aggressive.
Well, we know the score, but execution to finish it was
play brought to us by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. One of the more exciting plays in. Now here's Favors. 6 on the shot clock, and the officials call a traveling violation. On defense, Utah. To the paint, here's Anthony, and that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook.
Love the attitude of Westbrook. Continues to improve at running the offense and finding ways to create opportunities for his teammates.
Now, here's Rubio. 17 points for him last game against Minnesota.
You know what? I also like how he attacked the glass. Gave a terrific effort in that department.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
Westbrook with that jam.
Nice.
I mean, just beautiful.
I totally agree.
And you know Westbrook has an outstanding vertical. Once he gets to the launching pad, rim, beware. And one thing you have to say about Russell Westbrook, he is an absolute star. I mean, the type of player you can build around and win with. Just the total package on the offensive end of the floor.
Here's Mitchell. Hit a 15-point outing in their last game against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. Thunder have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. They set the pick. Here's George, and George with the stuff.
Yeah, you see the athleticism had on that dunk. It's so quick and explosive to the rim in an instant.
The numbers Westbrook put up last season in his MVP run, Greg, just staggering.
And you figured his numbers would get a bump, but I don't think anybody would have expected this guy to average a triple-double. I mean, arguably the most impactful superstar in the league.
Here's Mitchell following the score by Oklahoma City. And Adams sends back. Westbrook with it. Guarded now by Rubio. The basket. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it a three-point play.
Not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close. And as you would expect, Steven Adams has grown into a larger role with this team. Really came in as a guy who could defend and rebound, but starting to become more of a factor within their offensive framework.
Looking at who's out there now for the Jazz. Thabo Sefolosha is checked in for Joe Ingles, and Alec Burks subbed in for Mitchell. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Favors with the screen, and Gobert kicks to Favors. Over Anthony. Adams brings the double team. Favors can't get it to go. And Greg, with Adams, he hasn't just been more opportunity to display what he can do on offense. He's earned it.
You hit it right on the head, and you know, as an example, a guy that was a bad free throw shooter.
Nice.
Rubio. And the three from Sefolosha by Oklahoma City. Adams has got his 4th rebound in this one. Feeds to Felton. Back to Brewer. And it's Grant in the corner. Adams outside. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. Abrines is checked in. Rubio against Felton. Rubio outside. From deep. He can't get it to go. Abrines. The shot, no good. And so it's Oklahoma City holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. And don't go away. We'll be right back. And Derek Favors, known for his focus on developing his skills.
I just want to get better. I just want to keep improving as a player throughout the year, just get better.
Well, the desire is there, and sounds like the commitment that he's showing is to how far, Greg, you think he can go?
Well, you talk about desire and commitment, and then you throw in the fact that he has the talent that can be built upon and improved. One big factor will be injuries. That's the big X factor that determines so many more careers than desire. Talent and commitment, you need to stay on the court.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And guys, we seem to really take control here.
I tell you, it didn't take them long to find their rhythm strong through one.
Yeah, their scoring's been on point. They've got the early lead. Always feels good when that happens.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So for now, Grant is out there with Corey Brewer. Then there's Patrick Patterson. And it's Abrines in at the 2-guard.
Crossing up the defense, and that's what you expect from Rubio. Terrific vision.
Mitchell, he's checked in for Ricky Rubio. And there are so many amazing players in the league right now, Smitty, when you look at some of the guys who came in since you retired. Who would you like to have played with or played against?
I think with, it would have been a treat to play alongside LeBron James.
Yeah.
I think right now I'd love to see playing up against a guy like Giannis and Kristaps Porzingis, just the different ways these guys affect the game at their size. There's so many guys, and would love to get a chance to just be in front and marvel and watching Steph Curry go through what he's doing, and a Kyrie Irving. There's so many guys, Kevin. I just wouldn't want to guard those guys. I'm going to just say play with all those guys, not against.
Here's Brewer. That one, no good. And Utah the other way now. And going against Oklahoma City, their first meeting of the year.
And on paper, you call them the better team, but they actually lost the season series against a year ago.
Udo kicks to Crowder. Here's the screen. To the right side. Here's Jerebko. And he hits before the shot clock expires. The Thunder.
Look at the tandem of his players. The question, though, do you get enough spacing with those two inside to win it all?
Here's what Utah's going with right now. Rudy Gobert, he's checked in for Udo. Favors comes in for Crowder, and it's Joe Ingles in for Burks. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
Patterson is so active and efficient movements inside.
And in today's NBA, you can sometimes get diminishing returns with two big men who both need to be around the rim.
That's correct, but two things help this Jazz team. Favors is a good mid-range jump shooter. Defensively, he and Gobert are both very mobile for their size. Helps them against small ball teams.
Ingles dishes to Mitchell. Favors with the screen. Unloads from 13. It's hauled in by Paul George. The Thunder leading by 9. Rob. Here's Jerebko. George. To the middle. Here's Anthony. Oh, and the jam by Anthony.
Big hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and offensively.
Terrific defensive instincts to come away with that one, and he showed no hesitation in how he completed that transition opportunity.
Here's Mitchell. Out of hand on it.
Just a great job of timing on the block from Pat.
The Jazz again can't hit it.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding number.
It's Anthony with the drive. Gobert with the block. Here's Jerebko. Defended by George. Now here's Ingles. Time, but no scoring yet from him. Gobert with a screen on us. And here's Ingles outside. He's off on that one. And the Thunder going the other way now. And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. It's deflected. And it's out of bounds. Oklahoma able to retain possession. A chance here to assess what parts of the floor the attempts have been coming from as we look at the shot chart for Oklahoma City.
And even when the D3 has been there, they've stayed away from it. They're working hard to get shots from close range, resisting that urge to get too loose with their shot selection.
Thabo Sefolosha is checked in for your Repco. And when you watch Russell Westbrook play, he's one of the most competitive players in the NBA.
And with the way he attacks the rim and plays with just no abandon, I mean, this guy is no joke. Absolutely wills himself and his team to just do things that few others can, and relentless from the first quarter to the last whistle.
Ricky Rubio checked in for Utah. Favors sets the pick for Rubio. On the wing, Ingles. Another miss by Utah. The Thunder leading by 11. There's 1:38 left to play here in the half. Outside, George. And then George with the jam.
And I just love the aggressiveness from George, just slicing apart the defense with that terrific ability to penetrate.
Utah calls timeout.
And look, you never want to see a team gut you this way. Really a good timeout.
Some of this is just a matter of toughness, a willingness to play physical inside, something we're not seeing.
Ingles kicks to Gobert. Gobert, the screen. Out left to the wing. Tries to snap the cold streak. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. Rejection. He says his favorite is Gobzilla. What do you think?
I'm not sure with that one. I like Go Gadget arms, but the Jazz are sure he's their man in the middle going forward. I do know that. Signed him to a 4-year, $102 million extension.
No good on the triple.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
Rubio, the pass to Ingles. Gobert, the screen. On the wing, Sefolosha. A three-pointer, no good. Oklahoma City leading by 11. Here's George. It's by Derek Favors. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Rubio with a screen on George. Outside, Favors. 9 seconds left now here in the second. Here's George. Gobert with the block.
The size and reach of Gobert making him a tremendous defensive anchor.
Okay, David, much appreciated in halftime. So we'll be back in just... It's the...
Hello.
And point game Favors and Gobert, big men. Mitchell is out there with Ricky Rubio, and it's Ingles in at the 3, the small forward. That's the group starting the second half for Quinn Snyder.
And that's how you want to come out of the locker room. He is fired up.
Yes, in the first minute or so you knock shots, you are in rhythm.
Dishes to Gobert. Favors lays it up and in.
That's where 30 points come from. So effective from the interior area of the floor. You know the Jazz, one of the best run franchises in basketball. They operate in a small market, but still one of the top 6 winningest organizations in NBA history. And
the rejection by Favors.
Favors, especially especially when he leaves the ground quickly.
Rubio misses. Leading by 8. And Steve, talking about the Jazz in Salt Lake City, trying to hold on to big name, lose all call.
Well, you know, the good news can focus on not too many distractions. Stay beautiful, safe with loyal fans and a chance to win.
Oklahoma City shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game. And Utah making a change here. Crowder's checked in. And a regroup necessary. Timeout called by Quinn Snyder.
When you take a look at that shot chart, the amount of misses lately is really unbelievable.
You start to wonder, in my opinion, is it better to take everything to the rack now or to try at least draw some fouls?
Let's take a look at the players who were the best on the glass a season ago. 4th, Rudy Gobert.
What a season he had in the paint. I mean, his rebounders really mine. Who wouldn't love to have a guy like that? For a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. Rubio outside. And we'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
On heavy fire, Rubio keeps his cool, finds a way to score.
And Ricky Rubio, you know, for his ability to pass it and create opportunities for teammates. But, you know, I think he's an underrated defender at that spot and get the credit he deserves defensively.
Comes in for the Grant. He's checked. Brewer comes in for Roberson. And it's Felton in for Russell Westbrook. One falls for Ricky Rubio. And Greg, for Rubio is something that isn't talked about, but is certainly present all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's smart, fast, he moves his feet well, and has terrific anticipation with his hands. Great playing both on and off the ball, and just aware of his spacing and a player's tendencies.
Felton kicks to Adams. Rebound, Utah.
That was defense. He tried to force the layup anyway. I think that was a questionable decision.
Crowder with it. Now defended by Grant. Rubio outside. Mitchell passes to Crowder. On the clock. Over Anthony. Another time.
Fortunately for him, the defense is slow to react, but he couldn't make them pay.
Here's Adams. Slammed home and a chance throw on.
Thumbs up.
Even on a power finish. Steve, you were such a great shooter over the course of your terrific career. Is that something that just came naturally to you? Was it learning technique early on, or was it just repetition?
You know, Kevin, started off in high school. I was a big Irvin fan, so I had my elbows out trying to shoot like him. Got to Michigan State, and Judd Heathcote had his little ruler making my elbow get in. And he had this thing called ready shoot. I did that over and over and over. So I would say naturally I was pretty good, but it was repetition and a guy like Judd Heathcote making me a good shooter into a better shooter. And then plus, I played with Tim Duncan and David Robinson one year. You're talking about wide open looks. I led the league in three-point shooting because of those guys.
Pass to Crowder.
Waterboy Papi yung nagsalita.
need guys who understand their roles. Carry them out without complaint. Everything he does is for the team.
Free throw good. Utah. Tavo Cephalosha is checked in for Utah. And then for Oklahoma City, Abrines is checked in for Jeremy Grant. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Raymond. Thunder leading by 8. Anthony dishes to Adams. No good that time.
After it defensively, forcing guys into tough shots.
Yeah, to be successful, you've got to protect the paint. He rises to that challenge.
For Utah, they have shot it from the free throw line so 5.
And a season ago, 70% of their...
Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Burks.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
Jazz coach Quinn Snyder bounced around as an NBA assistant coach. 4 different teams, never staying more than a year. He got his education working under so many great coaches.
Anthony drives in, and he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Udo picks one up. And Coach Snyder said that his experience as an assistant coach helped to erase some coaching blind spots.
Well, you take something, Kevin, from every experience, every stop. He's been well prepared to become an NBA coach. Over 2 decades on the bench before taking over the Jazz job.
Loose shot.
The first free throw is good, and Utah making a change here. Gobert's checked in, and a switcher also for Oklahoma City. George is checked in for Corey Brewer. You could feel the clock ticking for Melo's time in New York, and this offseason, it finally ended, Greg.
Yeah, and for a team like this to add Melo to the mix, what a blessing. I mean, Melo still has a ton of offense to offer, and hard to add a player so skilled as Melo for practically nothing.
The Thunder leading by 7. Adams right side. Outside Westbrook. Passes it to Abrines. Looking for Adams. He gets it there. Over Gobert. And no good. Trying to use the glass. Here's Ingles. Looking for his first basket still in this one. From deep three-point range. Got it!
Yes, indeed.
What a shot!
Concentration.
3 points at the buzzer.
How in the world did he get that one to go?
And we've watched 3 so far as one. Thunder lead by 4. And we're just moments away from the start of the 4th quarter. Stay with us. Let's take a listen to a recent huddle from Coach Billy Donovan.
Guys, let's close it out the right way. We need some stamina on both ends of the floor right now. All right, come on, hang in there.
Keeping everyone focused on the task at hand. Billy D letting his guys know that this is not over.
Yeah, I mean, no letdowns right now. It doesn't matter what the score is. What matters is that you give maximum effort on every play.
4th quarter of action. We've had a great one so far. Both sides coming to play. And Oklahoma City, looking who they've got to start the 4th quarter. Westbrook and Robertson are the backcourt pair. Paul George is out there with Adams, and it's Abrines in at the small forward position.
And a lot to like about that play, particularly how it ends.
Yeah, at the rack. That's what you want in transition, a high percentage look.
George against Favors, and George gets it to go.
And George just has that extra gear. Well, once he kicks into it, he is nearly impossible to stop.
And Rubio kicks to Favors. Gobert the screen. He feeds it to Rubio. On the wing, Ingles. Misses the 3.
I'll tell you, he just hasn't been able to get it done on the offensive end. Kind of dragged down.
Here's Abrines, covered by Cephalosha. Rubio against Westbrook. Back to Abrines. Shoots from 14. And out of bounds as the Jazz gain possession.
Right there, a little miscommunication on that pass.
Jeremy Grant, he's checked in for Alex Abrinas. Quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. Rubio, the pass to Ingles. Back to Rubio. Gobert with a screen for Rubio. Ingles in the corner. Lets it go from deep. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
And Adams kicks to George. The 10-footer misses off the right iron.
And forcing the miss there, he just knows how to pressure you defensively.
And also protecting the rim at all costs. I love the anticipation to affect the shot.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Basket made. That gives him tries.
And all can zeroed in and knocks down big shot after big shot here in the fourth.
Rubio against Westbrook. And here's Gobert. Kicks it to Favors. Up and in on the layup.
He's a big body. Derek Favors able to weather the contact and guide it home.
Outside for George. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here.
I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
Gentlemen, two shots. Blue shot.
That's good from George. Mitchell is checked in for Utah. Anthony's checked in for Oklahoma City. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe.
And really, if not for the miss, they'd be sitting in a much better position.
Paul George with the steal. All alone, and it's George finishing it off.
And hustle paying off there for George in the open court. Gets up court in a flash and finishes before the D can even react.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. Here's Gobert. It's hauled in by Adams.
And you see why his reputation is so strong defensively. He allows no separation.
And so many defenses are not designed to take away the mid-range jumper, but he's given nothing away.
Jazz trail by 4. Knocks it loose. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George. Now Rubio. Gobert the screen. And Rubio kicks to Mitchell. They get it back. Gobert. And terrific work on the offensive glass when he picks up 2.
Gobert looking comfortable stepping into the spotlight right now.
Westbrook dishes to Adams. Favors against Anthony. And the rejection by Favors. Rubio outside. That doesn't go on the chance to tie. The Thunder with the lead. Westbrook kicks to Anthony. Oklahoma City moving the ball around. Here's George. Sinks it from just inside the baseline. George has got 14 points here in the second half.
And the mid-range jumper really right in George's comfort zone. When he isn't blowing by guys and finishing at the rim, he's knocking that one down with consistency.
And Rubio kicks to Mitchell. 5 to shoot. Here's Cephalosha. Good. And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Well, that is NBA level right there. It's the way the game is supposed to be played. Guys competing at the highest level.
Outside, George. Doesn't go that time. Gobert with the defensive effort. This could be a turning point.
Critical possession right here.
Rubio the pass to Favors. Out to the wing. Here's Mitchell. Oh, and the dunk by Mitchell.
And wow, what a time to tie this game up, guys.
I wasn't sure they had enough time. What an amazing job to battle all the way back out of that huge hole.
On the wing, George. By Cephalosha. And George, here we go. Yes!
Ooh, just powered it down with both hands. You know he's not going to mess that one up.
Oh, no, not this fella. He is a superb finisher. Utah calls timeout. They trail by 2. 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
I don't think they should be greedy here and think about a triple. With this much time left, I'd attack the basket, get a high percentage shot in tight, and take my chances in overtime.
And now the presentation of our Jordan player of the game, Paul George.
And his job is to give them a spark with his scoring tonight, and he did not disappoint. They were going to keep going to him until the D showed they could stop him. And since they haven't been able to, he just kept piling up the numbers.
So a close game sees Oklahoma City taking this one. This win, such a tremendous emotional boost for him.
Really an accomplishment and crazy finish to take a road game like that.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it. for NBA action. Along with Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and our sideline reporter David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. We've got a Western Conference battle ready to get rolling, and this Oklahoma City crowd wants some love from their Thunder. This, their first chance to take a look at Minnesota this season. Last season, they had the upper hand in the series, going 3-1 against these guys.
Yeah, and they took care of business against this group last year, winning the season series.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. Chris Bosh is out there with Karl Anthony Towns. And it's Teague in at the point guard position. For the finish, and it's George finishing it off.
Yeah, you see the athleticism George had on that dunk. It's so quick and explosive. Gets to the rim in an instant.
And a bit of a bittersweet question for you, Brent. We know you spent so many years with the Sonics who eventually were uprooted and became this Thunder team. How badly would you like to see Seattle get a basketball team again?
I think it's the NBA's mission to get back to Seattle, and under Adam Silver, he's asked questions about the return to the Emerald City, and I think it's going to happen, Kevin. If it does, I'd love to be a part of what the organization does up there. I do miss the PNW. That's the Pacific Northwest.
Here's Wiggins. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
And always tough on the road, but that attack mindset that they brought offensively, I really felt like that set them apart.
And sometimes when you're pushing the action, you can see some great teamwork, and then all of a sudden the individuals on your team can take over. All of that here tonight.
Fast break, Minnesota. And it's Butler with the jam.
That's the kind of player Jeff Teague is. Plays hard on D, and the team gets out on the break because of it.
It's Westbrook with the drive. Outside Anthony. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Well, you have to be able to trust each other on the defensive end of the floor. Otherwise, the whole thing is just going to crumble.
And so many defenses nowadays really not designed to take away that mid-range jumper.
And I'm loving the recognition, right? He simply takes what the defense allows. That's a smart move.
Here's Roberson. The kick out to Westbrook.
Freakish.
Man overboard.
Wow.
You got your scorecard out, Kevin? That might be a 50. Or are we going 100 or 1,000? Westbrook with a unique combination of power and athleticism.
Now here's Butler. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Utah. Bosh can't get it to go.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
Wiggins against George. Adams right side. Towns with the steal. Here's Butler, and he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up.
Yeah, and Butler just can't be stopped. I mean, even when the